Hey guys, this is Miss Arlequin, and in this video we are going to be reviewing how we use MLA format to properly cite evidence within our essay. All right, so when we talk about MLA style, we're talking about the Modern Language Association. They've developed the most commonly used style for citing sources, particularly in the humanities field. When you're citing a source in your writing, MLA style requires that you include the author's name and the page number from where the information was taken. And this is typically going to be done using parentheses that you place at the end of a sentence, also known as your parenthetical citation. Now, in-text citations are what we're going to use most often when we're writing essays. If we were writing research reports, then we would use in-text citations, but also bibliographies. And there are a whole other set of rules, according to MLA, for properly formatting your bibliography. We're just going to focus on essays for now. So our main concern is in-text citations. When you have your in-text citation within the body of your writing, you are identifying the text, so you got to have a title, the author, the page number, or if it is a play or a poem, the line number that your information is coming from. So here in this example, you can see that within the sentence, the student is identifying the title of the book, also the author, and then at the end, we've got the final piece of information, the page number. All right, so you're going to include an in-text citation, obviously, anytime you have a word-for-word quote from a source, which is also known as a direct quote. But we also have to use citations when we just borrow an idea from someone else or when we paraphrase information, which is known as our indirect quotes. Indirect quotes, even if there is no direct quote anywhere in that sentence, has to have a citation. It came from somewhere else. You're just paraphrasing it. You're restating it. It's not really your words. It's just you rephrasing someone else's words. And once again, our main focus is going to be parenthetical citations, having at the end of the sentence that parentheses with the citation information, which starts with an open parentheses, the author's last name, all right, so open parentheses, author's last name, the page number, unless it's poetry or plays, and then the close parentheses at the end. And you'll notice here that for punctuation purposes, the end punctuation, in this case a period, is going to go after the close parentheses. All right, so let's say we were writing our essay like we did in 6th grade for the giver. And I wanted to talk about a part where individuals are not really, or I should say individual differences aren't really noticed by people. So I would start off my sentence with an introduction to my evidence. In the giver's world, it. So these are like my context sentences, or the context part of my sentence. In the giver's world, it, quote, was considered rude to call attention to things that were unsettling or different about individuals, end the quotation. And then my sentence is continuing with some more of my own words, more of the indirect quote. And everyone was nice to one another. So because this sentence has my direct quote in the middle, notice that I don't end the quote with the citation. I wait until the end of the entire sentence to put the parenthetical citation. That is another important rule. Parenthetical citations go at the end of the sentence, not just at the end of the quotation. All right, here we have another example once again. If I'm just going to paraphrase a story detail from the book, I still need to have that citation. So here I've got my paraphrase of something from The Giver. The big changes Jonas went through all started with an apple that morphed in a way he could not describe. So here, once again, this is a detail from the story. I did not use a direct quote in this case. I'm just paraphrasing, but I put my citation at the end of the sentence, and it's including the author's name and the page number. In this case, it's including the author's name because I never mentioned her name earlier in the sentence. I would also have to believe it wasn't mentioned earlier in the paragraph. If earlier in the paragraph I had mentioned Lois Lowry's name, I would not need to include that information in the parenthetical citation. All right, so now it's time to practice. We're going to go through 5 practice activities. You're going to be given two examples. They are the same information, but it's up to you to determine which one has the properly formatted citation. So we're looking for where the citation is placed. We're looking for where the punctuation is placed. We're looking to make sure that all of that is correct. Okay, so which of the following do you believe has a properly formatted citation? All right, so we can clearly see that B is the correct answer, because if we look at A, you'll find that the quotation marks come after the parenthetical citation, which is not the proper formatting. The closing quotation marks should be coming before the citation. You have closing quotation marks, like in answer choice B, the citation, and then the punctuation, in this case, the period. All right, number 2, which of the following has a properly formatted citation? All right, so in this case, once again, it's going to be answer choice B. Obviously, we're seeing these sentences out of context, but we're going to have to assume that, just like in the practice one with the giver, we assume that Lois Lowry's name was not mentioned earlier in the paragraph. It certainly wasn't mentioned in that sentence, which is why I included it in my parenthetical citation. Same thing here. Even though these are very close, because there's no indication that an author has been mentioned anywhere, we're going to have to go with answer choice B. If you don't see the author mentioned in the sentence or earlier in the paragraph, then you mention it in your citation. All right, number 3, which of the following has a properly formatted citation? Okay, so this one is very, very subtle, but if you chose answer choice B, once again, you would be correct. And in this case, the reason is because in answer choice A, there is a double period. No, this period does not belong. The period has to go at the end of the sentence. And when you are citing sources, the end of the sentence is after the citation. The citation counts as part of the sentence. Think about it. If you do it the way answer choice A is, this is a sentence, and then the citation is a sentence all by itself. But how could that be? A citation can't be a sentence. There's no subject. There's no verb. All right, now for number 4, which of the following has a properly formatted citation? All right, so here we have two sentences that are a little bit different from each other. In number A, you have the quotation and the citation. Everything looks good, but when you compare it to B, you'll notice that B is the correct choice because B actually introduces the quote. It doesn't just start the quote. You should never have a sentence in your writing, whether it's a short response or an essay, that's just a direct quote and nothing else. There has to be some kind of introductory phrase, even if it's just something as simple as saying the author writes. So here, just because there is an introduction, that automatically makes this the better sentence. And then you'll see that this is still the proper citation because you've got the author's name at the beginning of the sentence, which means your citation is only the page number. And it is properly formatted. You got the quotation mark, the parenthetical citation with the page number, and then the period that comes after. All right, now for our final practice, which of the following examples shows a correct parenthetical citation? All right, so if we look, we can see that each of these sentences starts with the author's name. So that automatically helps us eliminate B, because if the name is within the sentence, you don't need it in your parenthetical citation. That's number 1. So it's either going to be A, C, or D. D is an indirect quote, which is fine. We need to have a citation when it's an indirect quote, but there are 2 periods. So that can't be correct. Same thing with C. There's a period here and a period there. So that can't be correct, which means A. So let's just double check A. We've got the author's name at the beginning of the sentence. Fine. We've got the opening and closing quotation marks. Fine. There's no punctuation here. Awesome. Page number within parentheses. Awesome. and then our period. All right, so now it is time to apply what we've learned. You're going to go into your draft and you're going to make sure that all of your citations are in the correct place and are properly formatted.